Have you been experiencing emotional overwhelm, numbness, burnout, or just in general experiencing pain and discomfort at this time? And I mean emotional pain. If you have, then I'm going to tell you right now that it is because you have disconnected from your heart. And I know that because I've experienced all those emotions, all those experiences in my life. And I'm going to show you the fundamental thing that shifted me out of those experiences. It takes me back to a story way back when I was going through some boy trouble, and my friend at the time was trying to give me some advice, and she finally just settled on asking me, have you checked in with your heart? Have you asked your heart what you should do? And in that moment, it was like this big light bulb moment, this profound awareness that I had virtually no connection whatsoever to my heart. And I was at like 28 years old at that time. So it's a long time to not have this fundamental tool that is really the driver behind our life. And what I believe is what God intended us to live our lives from is our heart. I know that this topic isn't prevalently spoken about, but to me, it is the single missing key from all aspects of wellness. As a society, especially in first world countries, we emphasize the mind. Every business meeting you're going to sit in, they're going to ask you, what do you think? What is the logic you came up with this? What is the strategy? All these mind-oriented directions. And not to say that you shouldn't approach that in a business context. There's a time and place for everything. But with that being the sole focus of how we live our lives, we are missing the key fundamental ingredient. Instead of living life from here, the mind, shift down into the heart, your core, your center, your power. We're going to unpack a little bit more about that. Today, I want to share with you just general what the heart coherence is and why the heart is so important, how the heart is going to help you shift out of emotional overwhelm, that numbness feeling, that disconnection, that your soul is wanting and craving for you to grab hold of that heart and to live from this space more in tune with who you truly are and your magic. So there's tons. I'm going to explore more about this topic before I go deeper into it. First things first, I want you to check the description box. I've linked some free resources for you to help you along with connecting in deeper with your heart. I'm also going to create a playlist as we go along, so double check my page if that's already been created. Lots to unpack on this topic. I have lots of tools and meditations and practices that you can use to deepen your life into your heart, because it's so important. Like, this is where it's at. And I'm going to break it down why. First of all, talking about the heart itself, it is, yes, an organ. Let's just kind of build some familiar language here, because the key to understanding your tools is to understand what they are and how they work. And then you can leverage them, their power, and be able to develop more of a relationship with them. So the heart is an organ. We know this. It is also a muscle because it's contracting. It's got muscles in it. Not to mention, it is our most vital organ. I will say that again. So life begins with a heartbeat. Life ends with a heartbeat. I'm just trying to draw on the connection here that maybe Source Creator created the heart with such a profound connection to our life and death that maybe this is the epicenter in which we should be living instead of the mind, the ego, and other aspects of self. So organ, yes, it is muscle. So therefore, as a muscle, we can think of developing a relationship with it, kind of like we would be going to the gym. You go to the gym and work those muscles. You want to give it some practices. You want to stay devoted to it. And the more you do that, the more gains you see. I have, like I said, lots of tools I can share with you, and then more videos on how to deepen that relationship with your heart, because that's where it begins and ends right there, is cultivating that relationship, working that muscle. We'll talk more about that. It's also an energy center, or in some cultures, they call it a chakra. You may have heard of the heart chakra. Not only is it an energy center, but the way that, and I'm going to do this breakdown in the next video. So right now, I'm just going to give you kind of the macro 10,000 foot view, and then we're going to drill deeper into the inner workings of the heart, because it is freaking amazing. When I learned more about how it works and the physical and how the non-physical work together, how they're embedded in our experience, oh my gosh, it just brightened my appreciation for the heart even more, and further drew upon why the ROI in taking the time out to really live from your heart is where it's at. Like, all the power is right here. I'm gonna tell you how I came to that conclusion. The power comes from the fact that it is a magnet, and you may have heard with the beginner kind of level of law of attraction, there's a magnetism, that this concept that energetically things are drawn into. We understand how a magnet works, right? Well, your heart generates like a magnet. So watch the next video where I break that down. It'll probably also be linked in the description box for you. Worth the deep dive, trust me. Your heart is where we experience love. Love is the baseline frequency of this entire universe. It may not always feel like that, but the heart is a guidance system, always trying to bring you back to this fundamental awareness, this fundamental knowing. When you feel, now there are a lot more complexities to this, but I'm just gonna simplify it for the sake of this video and not to like drown on about this, but when you feel lower vibrational emotions such as despair or, I don't know, rejection or sadness, depression, those sort of like emotional painful centers. So that's why I have pain in quotes over here, because it's more like emotional pain that we feel in the heart, the broken heart. Like, no, our organs don't break in pieces, but or the heart organ doesn't break in pieces, but it can signal to the brain that it is experiencing pain, not the opposite. So another profound discovery made recently, and I'm going to talk more about the deep dive on that in another video, but in that sense, your heart is always trying to call back to you like, hey, what you're thinking and feeling right now isn't the truth of you, of your power, of the power of the universe, how this love is the baseline frequency and connection point between linking all living things, right? So come back here, come back to this, shift your perspective, come back here, okay? So in the guidance system, that's just an example. There's more layers to that, but that should get you started. So therefore, the heart is, I want you to think of it as a backdoor to source at all times. If life begins and ends here, it is meant to be lived from here. Wouldn't you agree? So think of this as kind of like the fail-safe, like the backdoor to source. I think back to like, I have a lot of programmer friends, especially when I lived in Nashville, and in code, I guess you can always create some backdoors to get back to the source code. I don't know if that's the correct, if that is like spot on correct, but that's how I interpreted it anyway. I may be a little off. I don't know if you're a developer, please let me know if I'm off on that. But that's kind of the analogy I personally use to think of the heart, because it's always connected in with source at all times. It's your portal to infinite pure source energy, right? So through that portal, you can tune in your awareness into that aspect. Now, this is going to be experiential, meaning that you have to experience it. My words, and I can break stuff down for you, how it works, and give you tips, but this is going to be something that you experience on your own. And I can just share from my experience. One time when I was tuning into my heart, this is shortly after I became aware that I was sorely deficient in this heart coherence, that I virtually had nothing. I would ping it, and it would be like dead space, nothing. And I sought out to change that. So I devoted a lot of time to meditating and bringing my awareness. I knew I was intuitive at that time, so I practiced my intuition skills to place my awareness into my heart. And I remember one time, it just seemed like I went into this wormhole that went straight back to source, but it seemed like never ending and infinite and expansive, loving, unconditionally loving. I felt like the more I dove deeper and deeper and deeper into that wormhole, the deeper into this portal I got. Like, it was just never ending. It didn't have an ending. And then I brought my awareness back to myself. So that to me drew this loop that I am always connected in with source, that this is through the portal of our hearts that happens. So like I said, it's a link to source at all times. Therefore, we can never truly be alone. We are actually more powerful than we might ever think or attribute ourselves to having. I want to share one more anecdote with you. Around that same time, I came across a coworker's, she has some inspirational print that she found off the internet somewhere. So I came across her desk one time, and it said this profound yet simple statement. That's when you know that that is like pure source guidance, when it is profound yet so simple, because we're the only ones that make things convoluted and complex as humans. We just love to make everything complex. But real profound, real wisdom, higher wisdom is so simple and basic. We actually can miss it. And that kind of brings me back to this stuff, like the pain, the suffering, anxiety, depression, all these sort of modern day complexities that have risen in the last couple hundred years. They didn't really exist thousands of years ago to the prevalence that they are now. But basically, when we remove the heart from the whole picture of wellness, which is mind, body, heart, and soul, according to what I teach, when we remove that pillar, we are missing the most vital link, the most vital organ of our entire body. It must be a vital key in our spiritual journey as well, which this human experience is both human and spiritual at the same time. So the key to actually living a happy life is living in the heart. This was hidden in plain sight, y'all. Like, this is it. And yes, it's one thing to say, just live from your heart and things will be better. I call BS on that. It's easier said than done. And that's why I've taken a time out to help you cultivate a deeper connection with your heart with so many tools, perspectives. I'm really looking forward to this journey. In fact, I was so excited to do these videos. I was literally jumping up and down because it is a part of my passion, part of my purpose. In short, and they say, do what lights you up because that is your purpose. I think this is a perfect example of that. The key to creating the life that you want is housed from living in your heart. I'll say that again. The key to creating the life that you want comes from living from the heart, from your heart space. This is where love is seated. This is where unconditional love is. This is where you practice forgiveness. More on that later. I'm going to have specific tools and videos that break down these practices. But for right now, the 3 things you need to do to cultivate a life led by the heart is lots of daily practices. It's like the atomic habits concept, like these micro shifts throughout the day create over time compounding effect where you are now just living from that center, making your heart the epicenter of your life. It is possible. And like many cultures all over the world are embracing, even from a societal standpoint, living from the heart. For example, Hawaiians, their culture embeds living from the heart quite a lot. And everyone loves going to Hawaii. Very good vibes, not just the great weather, but I also very much enjoy their culture and learning about their culture. But that's just one example of how it's not like a worldwide problem, but a lot of us are missing this link. It is the key to creating the life that you want. Because it's a muscle, the 3 things you need to do is, number 1, learn how it works. Like, you don't just show up at the gym and start pumping your arms or working your muscles without understanding the mechanics of your body, because you could otherwise cause injury or you could cause harm, or not that I'm saying that would happen to the heart, but it's a good idea to know that what you're working with has layers to it. And that way you can be a better steward of that thing. So learning how it works will further help you deepen your understanding and your appreciation for this amazing gift that we have. And it's been hidden in plain sight this whole time. Second thing, daily practice. Just like you go to the gym regularly to work out to meet your fitness goals, you need to develop some daily practices, and I definitely have you covered. Stay tuned for more, and check the description box for some goodies that I left you. And then the third thing is making the choice and intention. It almost sounds elementary. It is probably step 1, but choosing to make it a part of your life, to live like at least 80% from your heart throughout the day is a choice. I recommend you set that intention now and follow along with me as we do this journey together. You don't have to do it alone. I'm excited to bring forward a lot of this information that I've been sitting on for a while. And it's time to get it out here. So I hope you've enjoyed so far the breakdown, and please be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you in the next one where I break down how the heart works. What you need to do is, number one, learn how it works. Like, you don't just show up at the gym and start pumping your arms or working your muscles without understanding the mechanics of your body, because you could otherwise cause injury or you could cause harm, or not that I'm saying that would happen to the heart, but it's a good idea to know that what you're working with has layers to it, and that way you can be a better steward of that thing. So learning how it works will further help you deepen your understanding and your appreciation for this amazing gift that we have. And it's been hidden in plain sight this whole time. Second thing, daily practice. Just like you go to the gym regularly to work out to meet your fitness goals, you need to develop some daily practices, and I definitely have you covered. Stay tuned for more, and check the description box for some goodies that I left you. And then the third thing is making the choice and intention. It almost sounds elementary. It is probably step one, but choosing to make it a part of your life, to live like at least 80% from your heart throughout the day, is a choice. I recommend you set that intention now and follow along with me as we do this journey together. You don't have to do it alone. I'm excited to bring forward a lot of this information that I've been sitting on for a while. And it's time to get it out here. So I hope you've enjoyed so far the breakdown, and please be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you in the next one where I break down how the heart works.